Woman said to me the other day, what do you think is one of the #1 dating problems? I said, if I tell you, you ain't gonna want to hear it. She said, no. I said, I'm gonna tell you. She said, what? I said, in most cases, a man has to change for a relationship because women want men to be a particular way. But anytime a man remotely tells them about themselves of what they want, you have to accept them for them. And that's a problem. You want a grown person to change for you, but you're not willing to change for the grown-up. In most cases, most men don't complain a lot about what they want. You're talking about in most cases, lady, you get in your feelings, you're in denial. Unless you dated some very weak men. If you dated some very weak men, please do not jump in this conversation because you're going to use your very weak men and make that the standard. In most cases, most men complain less about what they want in relationships. And most women think they're better in relationships they are because most men don't complain as much.
And this is another thing. Ladies, love is your big word. You will understand that most men never ask you to love us. We ask you to respect us. Because to us, psychologically, when you respect us, we automatically feel loved. We don't need you to buy us flowers. If you respect us, we feel loved. If you disrespect us, we feel hated. That's not your key word. Your word is love. And we got to learn how to do that better. But we have to understand that plane lands on two different runways from man to woman. For us, it's respect. Respect is actually love. And when we feel disrespected, it feels like hate. Am I right, brothers? All right.
A lot of these men have realized that, unfortunately, for a lot of these modern women, it might seem like opting out is the best choice. Because when you look at how much stress you have to go through, modern women being inconsistent, just those two alone will have you saying, or, you know, kind of reconsidering and saying, well, maybe this is not the journey for me right now. Maybe I need to go build myself up. Maybe I need to focus on myself. Maybe I need to put a little bit more into who I am.
Tell a black Muslim woman that you can never be a co-wife. You can never let your husband have more than one wife be wild to me, because when we be looking inside the house and inside the windows, a lot of y'all never been a wife before. A lot of y'all don't even know what it takes to be a wife. A lot of y'all will probably never be a wife. A lot of y'all probably been a wife but not a good wife. A lot of y'all want to be a wife but don't know what it really takes to be a wife. A lot of y'all want the titles but don't want to put the work in. A lot of y'all already been a side chick or is a side chick. A lot of y'all already in situationships. No, we're just going with the flow. What's understood don't gotta be explained. A lot of y'all got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 baby fathers. You know what I'm saying? And you talking to another woman telling her you couldn't see yourself being a second wife or a third wife or a fourth wife, or you couldn't see yourself letting your husband have more than one wives, but you let him sleep with other women.
She said it, I didn't. I just always wondered, why is always the gorgeous and the pretty one talking like this? That's all. That's just my question. They always look a certain way.
Ladies, I'm going to tell you a big secret about very wealthy men in the early days of dating them when they've gone on a trip and they're sending you these photos. Okay, this is what I know firsthand from behind the scenes of my matchmaking business, and I'm going to share that intel with you right now. Hang on. I actually had this scenario come up recently with one of the ladies that I was working with in my coaching program. And essentially she's like, oh yeah, he's on a yacht right now with his buddies. They're doing a fishing trip and he keeps sending me pictures. And I said, listen, here's what I know about these guys. Lean in, ladies. There's women on that boat. Those guys are not they don't have a gorgeous yacht and they've gone to some exotic location and they're just all men on the boat. Nope. They're taking pictures so that it looks like there's not ladies on the boat. But I guarantee you, these men are not going on these holiday vacations. They're not going on the yacht. They're not taking the plane somewhere exotic and gorgeous or fun and beautiful with just dudes. It's not happening. There are ladies there. They have dates with them. They just don't put them in the pictures so that they can then make you think you are the one and only lady they got cooking. But that is not the truth. If he's going away on a holiday vacation, just already know, listen, you don't know him that well. Hopefully you haven't, dated him that long. But he is not going just with the guys. And oftentimes, even with family, they bring dates along. They do. And I know this from years of doing this matchmaking for these guys. And I know what goes on behind the scenes. So, happy holidays. I hope this helps.
Men have decided it's easier to take a step back. It's easier to opt out rather than trying to hop into confusion, rather than trying to force my way into a situation that, quite frankly, doesn't seem advantageous to me. Doesn't seem like it's going to go well. So I'm not going to sit up there and continue to be like, oh man, I got to get her. No, I don't. The alternative with me forcing myself into this space is I have somebody acting crazy with me, and I don't have time for that.
Obviously you're doing coaching, but how do you think coaches and or even therapists could potentially make things worse when it comes to doing couples work?
Oh my gosh. Well, probably two reasons. One being the buy-in to this cultural mindset that men are the problem. I mean, that's one thing. The other is that I think a lot of therapists don't know the difference between like real deep, true emotions and maybe, narrative-based emotions, right? So we can make ourselves the victim of just about any circumstance, right? Let's say a woman decides that she didn't like the way her husband did something or he didn't show up, right? Mm-hmm. She gets that thought. Okay, thought comes in. She takes that thought in and then starts creating this narrative.
And a lot of these modern women, they want men to continue to audition for a role that, quite frankly, Chad and Tyrone didn't even have to try out for. Chad and Tyrone, y'all know those actors and actresses, they don't even have to show up to the audition. They already got the part. That's what's happening with a lot of these Chads and Tyrones. They don't even have to audition. You got the part. Sold. He don't put no energy into it, but then you got Chad and Tyrone over here. You just give it up. A man's gonna find out about that. And when he finds out about that, how do you think that's going to make him feel? Not very good.
If a man does not reply to your message, do not ask, "Are you busy?" Do not ask, "Why are you ignoring me?" Do not send a long emotional paragraph. That is exactly how you lose power, because most men are not too busy to reply. They just do not see replying to you as a high priority. That hurts, but it is useful to know. When a man stops replying, he may be testing you. He wants to see, will you panic? Will you chase? Will you beg? Will you become emotional? Will you prove that he already controls your mood? Do not give him that proof. Your best move is silence. Not angry silence. Not dramatic silence. Clean silence. You pull back your emotional energy. You stop feeding him attention. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. You stop giving girlfriend energy to a man who is acting casual. Because attention is also a resource. And when he stops investing, you stop overgiving. Then what do? You live. You go out. You look good. You post your life, but not for him. You stay soft, but unavailable. You stay calm, but not waiting. Because the moment he feels that your world still moves without him, he feels uncertainty. And uncertainty is what makes a man re-evaluate your value. If he comes back, do not reply in 1 second. Do not act like, finally, you answered me. Reply later. Be kind, be light, but do not reward bad behavior with too much warmth. And if he still does not come back, good, now you know. A man who cannot even reply should not have access to your heart, your body, or your loyalty. Remember, do not chase a man back into treating you poorly. Pull back. Observe. Let his behavior show you his real level of interest. If you are confused by his texting behavior, send me the messages. I will tell you if he is busy, testing you, or just not serious.
And, you can sit up here and say, oh, is there a man that's willing to help? Is there a man that's willing to, kind of show that chivalry and stuff like that? But I think a bigger question you should probably be asking, and maybe it's probably a bigger problem, is, am I willing to give back? Am I willing to be feminine? Am I willing to nurture? Am I willing to put in effort? Right? Am I willing to say, okay, I appreciate what you're doing? A lot of women think that chivalry is only one-sided. And, a man is only supposed to do certain things, right? But let's look at your version of chivalry. What is it that you do? And then when we start asking those questions, we come right back on to the question that men be asking women, modern women, and they get upset. What do you bring to the table? What is it that you can do? How is it when I'm supporting you? How is it that you can support me? How can you support a family? Do you want to support a family? What type of person are you? And that's usually when modern women crash out and they don't want to answer those type of questions.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny?
Go ahead.
What?
She's about to cry.
I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Girl, dry it up.
Can I go?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave? If you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but,
There you go.
okay. I mean,
She said something that she didn't know the meaning of it. And when you held her accountable, she literally ran for the hills. Modern women logic.
Esso said Rihanna and Clarissa Shields showed that a lot of women don't like their man. Shout to Clarissa Shields and Papoose, by the way. Salute to them. Did you see Rihanna's post? I said, so now let's see if is talking. That Clarissa Shields quiet. Now they showing Papoose. I love you, Clarissa, because they tried to act like he don't like her, all the that they've been putting on. So now, since Rihanna said, basically, if y'all don't like y'all like this, you like it like this, you trash.
Woo! We got it all wrong about men. We think men wants the woman that's the thrill, that can hang out all night. They will choose a peaceful woman every single time. Oh yeah, the fun girl gets the date, she gets the trip, she gets the wild nights, but the peaceful woman, she gets the ring. Why? Because men don't want chaos long term. They want consistency, peace, and support. They know that the thrill will fade and a woman cannot keep that up, and they know that the drama that comes along with the thrill will drain him. But the woman that respects him, that listens to him, and that will build with him, that's the one he wants to marry. He will date the fun all day while he's young, but as he grows older and wiser, baby, he will marry the peace.
I have never felt for Short Kings more until I watched this video.
We wanted to see if anyone would pick 5'3" Rob. When Andrea told us women like doctors, we gave him an MD. Their choice? Andrew. I would say Matt, I think. No, Rob.
He's a doctor.
We piled on some more assets. We said, besides being a doctor, he was also a best-selling author and champion skier who just built his own ski house.
Does that affect your choices?
He's still short. Then we gave Rob a promotion. We made him chief of staff at a prestigious hospital.
Who would you pick, Kim?
Andrew's probably the closest to who I'd pick. I'd pick Matt.
He's chief of staff.
Jeffrey, the pilot. What would it take? Now we said Rob was also a gourmet cook who loves children.
Oh, definitely. I would take him in a minute. But height, no problem.
I wouldn't, because I would think I don't want short little kids.
So I gotta say, shout out to all the short men, because y'all be playing life on legendary difficulty, and y'all still be living, man. Y'all still do it.
في وحدة بعثت لي مسج على الانستغرام، عمرها 40 سنة، حلوة ومثقفة ومسؤولة عن نفسها ومسؤولة عن مصرياتها ومعها مصاري، بس زعلانة ومجروحة ومقهورة، لأنه متضايقة من الحياة، متضايقة إنه لحالها، ما عندها حدا معها، ما عندها حدا يحضنها، مرق الوقت عليها، ما عادش فيها ترجع للماضي وتصلح أغلاطها. يا نسوان انتبهوا ما تصيروش مثلها، عطوا قيمته للرجال، عرفوا قيمته للرجال، وعرفي قيمتك انت شو هي. ما تفكروا بالمظاهر، ما تفكروا الحشيش أخضر على منطقة تانية. اسقوا الحشيش اللي عندكم بحياتكم وما تغلطوا مثل هي غلطت.
Men do not want trad wives, and it's well past the time we should stop pretending that they do. I'm not saying they don't want a woman to do everything for them and to be this traditional sweet little housewife and raise the kids and all that. That's not what I'm saying. Because those women are out there. Those women are easy to find. They're a dime a dozen, right? Men don't go after those women that are already trad wives. What they do is they go after the independent, successful, strong-willed women and turn them into trad wives. I'm going to relate this back to the way I was raised, so just stick with me. I was raised on a farm. We had horses. We had cows. I went the rodeo circuit, okay? I was a barrel racer. I roped goats. I roped all of it. And without fail, there's not a single man out there who ever trained a horse who went for the one that was the easy mark. You don't grab a horse out of the pack that already kind of knows what's going on, that's already willing to listen to you, the one that's easy to train. You don't pick those because they're not a challenge. In order to prove your worth as a cowboy and to prove your worth as a man to your buddies that are over there watching, you grab the most headstrong horse you can find out of that pack and you break them and you mold them to your will and you force them to behave the way these other horses already behave, but that one didn't. And that makes you a good trainer, at least in the circles I ran in. And this transfers over into the relationships between men and women. The type of men who desire the type of trad wife that's out there are not looking for these easy marks, the women who already have children, the women who already know how to keep a home and do all these things around the household. They don't want those women. They want the Hallmark movie where the successful, independent businesswoman comes to the small town, meets the Christmas tree farmer, falls for him, and starts popping out kids. And honestly, it's because these men are weak. They don't want to have a partner who challenges them. They want someone who listens and does what they're told. And to those guys, I say, get a dog.
Whatever someone has to tell themselves to get through the day, I guess. But I've been wondering, where does this idea come from? Because it certainly doesn't come from anyone with, well, a working knowledge of actual human beings, or who has ever actually encountered anyone with a healthy mindset and good self-esteem. Because as a single person myself who is single by choice, I know lots of men who are very happy being single and they choose to remain that way. But I'm beginning to believe that a lot of these women out there are just so self-absorbed that they can't possibly imagine a world where men don't want to be with them. So they have to convince themselves that men are never single by choice because that makes themselves feel better. Because oftentimes people with low self-esteem, that's how they have to feel better. They have to put others down.
Every woman in this room should know masculine is not the power of the universe. Feminine is. I'm not placating you. That's why every man would die for the right woman. Would die, would give his life. That's what a real masculine man is, by the way. Not the one that's going to tell you what to do. The one that loves you so much they can feel inside you and they know what's right. And they may share it with you for a different place, not for them, for you. And you can feel the difference when someone's trying to tell you what to do for their benefit or when they know what's right.
Porn has created, OF has created such a delusion in the majority of men because there are so many ugly guys. There are so many old guys in my DMs that think that they have a chance with me. And genuinely, it's making me think that I'm gay because when I look at these guys' profiles, I just get repulsed by the idea of having sex with a man. Like, it is really bad. And I just know that these OF girls have guys in the Philippines messaging them back so they think that they can pull a baddie. But in reality, they can't. It's a fucking marketing scheme so that girls get money from you. You don't realize that, do you?
You only chase women when you don't know any better. In reality, all you young men out there, listen, I understand, I've been there, I've done it. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be chasing women. Women should be chasing you. How you get women to chase you is, number one, you stop chasing women, okay? Number one, you stop chasing women and you start chasing your potential, working on yourself, start becoming the best version of you can, the best in health, the best financially, the best spiritually, the best person you can be. You need to learn to grow and develop as a man and stop worrying about the women. And as soon as you don't care about chasing women because you're more focused on larger ambitions and goals, girls, boom, appear.
Never ever underestimate a man's ability to blame a woman for his actions. And then further to that, get mad at her for her reaction to those actions, take it all the way back 360, and then the woman has to apologize to the man.
Ask any man if he's gotten an apology from a woman, and his answer will most likely be no. In fact, most men have never even heard of that ever happening. And blaming her for something that he did, we see this a lot. It's not gender specific, we see this with women as well. It would be great if we just teach people accountability in general. But as per usual, it's framed as all men do this. It's a man's problem. And aren't you doing the very thing that you're saying that men do? By flipping it around and making it his fault?
We got a doozy today, fellas. Today we have the weaponization of you're being insecure. So the ladies have recently coined this term, you're being insecure, to justify their wrongdoings in their disrespectful behavior. Now you may be wondering, what does that look like? Where does this term usually get used? Posting their body all over Instagram. Soliciting attention from other men purposefully. Wearing outfits that a respectful girlfriend or wife wouldn't wear. Talking with other men under the guise of being friends. But these are just a few examples of where, when you bring up the problem of you're not okay with this, you get hit with you're just being insecure. What? So you're insecure? What, I can't show my all over Instagram? What, it's not okay that I wear this to the club? So this has essentially just been an easy out for them to try to get you all upset. No, I'm not insecure. No, of course not. But in reality, wouldn't you be more insecure if you had a problem with something and didn't bring it to their attention? Think about that. So the solution, it's very simple. Establish your boundaries, and if crossed, find a new woman. Don't sit here and argue. Don't tell them what to do. You're not their father. If what they're doing you're not okay with, go find yourself a new woman. It's that simple. Time to hit the girlfriend store. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today, and I will see you at the same time again tomorrow.
Recently, I asked for women, specifically those who say that they despise all men, to explain what the reasoning was behind their hatred. I mainly received two responses from that. The first being is that some of those women possibly experienced some type of or trauma from a man or multiple men in their past. But when I pointed out that a person's past traumas are not excuses for current bad behaviors, that did not go over very well. And then there was the second response, was that men commit the majority of crime in this world, and therefore they cannot be trusted. But when I asked, does that excuse stereotyping of certain ethnic groups or religious groups as well? And all there was silence. So I really didn't get a reasonable or rational response to why they hate men. Because remember, there is no reasonable or rational response to hatred. Because hatred itself is irrational.
The Red Pill movement say what they say in order to get more views and to get clicks and to, offend people. Yeah. And a lot of the time, we talk about toxic masculinity or like how men aren't allowed to express themselves, men aren't allowed to be men. It's created a community of a lot of weak, fragile men who desperately need some kind of savior. And that's what the Red Pill movement became. It basically became the exact same thing as toxic feminism.
Yeah, it was like the counter to it.
Right, it became women hating. And in reality, like most good men that I meet, they don't really care. I definitely enjoyed interviewing people in the Red Pill movement. I definitely think it opened my mind to like the male perspective. But what I will say is a lot of them have a very warped view of reality. They talk about how like men prefer younger women and all this stuff. Like I just see the opposite. So it was enjoyable and interesting, but that's just not how the real world works.
I think it's gotten a bit extreme.
Dear Steve Harvey, ever since you told women to act like a lady and think like a man, I've been seeing more women take their own trash out. Reposting Justin Lil Boy and how they don't need a man but got their cash up in the bio asking for a handout. I mean, you say you want a man, but you ain't doing nothing to stand out. Remember, Gina still got married to Martin. Y'all rather take the Tommy and Pam route. I mean, you say you want a man, but you just want an enabler that's going to tell you you're right in every situation. You want a traditional man to pay your traditional rent, but you got a modern day attitude in a modern generation. It don't work like that. And half the men you talk to ain't got jobs and don't work like that. I mean, you say you want a provider, but all you got to bring to the table is baggage, and it's okay as long as it's a Birkin bag. Talking about how with the right man, you naturally gonna submit. Man, you got a reality TV show attitude. Ain't no man gonna deal with that shit. But I guess Derek Jackson told you your worth. You held on to every word when he spoke on your hurt. Every post he made, you reposted it first. I don't know what's worse, him cheating on his wife or you following him after he praised her, then he made her feel insecure. But I guess Kevin Samuels can't be taken seriously. I mean, how you want a high value man when your value is low spiritually? I mean, I guess the ace in the metaphor is a man telling you right because that's the only time you listening. I mean, you say you want a man, but you bash men every time men are being mentioned.
What I will tell you is as soon as people file for divorce, they all say, is it okay if I start dating? And then they put themselves out there on their profiles and on their apps. And I've had a lot of fun with that as a lawyer. I remember putting a very straight-laced, buttoned-up, conservative-looking lawyer on the witness stand and asking him how long he's been into women with nipple piercings, because he had actually said on his one of his dating profiles, when he was sort of selecting things that he found to be a turn on, one of them was nipple piercings and tattoos. And I was like, all right, this buttoned-up, straight-laced guy who's presenting himself in this very sort of way, I'm going to just take that facade down by using his dating profile against him.
Not every man who dates abroad is the same kind of guy. On one side, you have the classic passport bro. He can't get the kind of woman he wants at home, so he flies to Southeast Asia, talks about traditional values, and looks for a girlfriend who's basically a mom with benefits, that's financially dependent and won't leave easily. He's not really moving for connection. He's moving for better odds and more power. On the other hand, you've got some Asian man traveling in the opposite direction, landing in Europe or Latin America, and says to himself, wait, I'm allowed to be myself here and people actually flirt back? One guy is using his passport to trade up in status by looking for someone with fewer options, and the other is using his passport to find a place where he's seen as a full person. Rebel love rule number 5. If travel makes you feel powerful because somebody else has less power, that is extraction, not romance. If everyone dated where they were genuinely appreciated instead of where they had the upper hand, how different would the dating map of the world look like? I'm Crystal, your favorite Asian rebel. Follow for Rebel Rules Love Edition series.
I shouldn't be dating a woman that's more than 2/3 of his body weight. The woman should feel smaller.
I just gave birth to our baby a week ago, and he followed me into the shower and started pointing at me while I'm sitting there naked, screaming at me and telling me that I'm fat and I need to lose weight and not have my stomach poke out like that.
Most men are not attracted to obese women. If you see a guy with an obese woman, most likely it's because of the fact that it's his only option and he's probably hoping that he can get her to lose weight.
Wife's body isn't what it used to be, and I want to talk to somebody about it.
She is single mother. That's a red flag. Sorry, guys. I don't know why any man would date a woman or take a woman seriously who already has a kid with somebody else.
I normally go I'm just short, petite, blonde or brunette. Like Katie's, yeah, nothing what normally I'd go for.
Give me some of the examples of her attitude.
Her attitude, okay, like, we'll wake up in the morning, Your Honor. I'll tell her, good morning. Huh? What's good about that morning? I'm like, Your Honor, we just woke up. What do you mean? I'm happy I'm alive. We in the store, Your Honor. She like, do you want the green beans or do you want the corn? The corn. Huh? Why do you want the corn? Huh? And storm off down the aisle. And we go to the same store, get the same food every week. And get mad, and she know what I like.
She like to eat junk all
beans.
day. That's what he want me to pick out, junk.
Okay.
He don't like eating healthy.
He doesn't like to eat healthy. Okay. When you ask him to eat healthy, how is your attitude?
So I say, would you like to?
Mrs. Brown.
Mama, did you hear what Daddy said earlier?
What?
Earlier.
Let Daddy say it.
Daddy, you say it. Okay, so we were talking, right?
And then I was like, my husband's gonna have to deal with me when I'm older. And he was like, no.
Your husband?
Mm-hmm. He was like, no. You shouldn't be someone who. What was it?
You shouldn't be someone to deal with.
You shouldn't be someone to deal with. You should be someone to build with.
Hallelujah! He did his thing. That's what's wrong with your house. You're not building. You a problem.
Ooh.
Can I get an amen? Can I get a witness?
She talking. Hey, training her up. That's the way you should go, daughter. You talking to daughter. I'm saying you talking to him, daughter. I like your daughter. Talk to him, daughter. Huh? That's the problem.
Grace, I'm talking to you.
That's the problem. They wonder what's going on because they're somebody to deal with, not somebody to
deal with.
That's what I'm saying, man. It changes the game.
Around the world, dating has collapsed. It's gone. Birth rates in Japan and South Korea, Italy, and now the United States are way below replacement levels. The countries are dying out. The problem is because the relationships between men and women are an undercurrent between what's going on in the entire world, and the relationships between men and women are just gone bust. So let's talk about that. And now let's bring this back to relationships between men and women. If men and women were able to talk with each other, which they cannot do now, but if they were able to talk with each other, they could come to common ground.
The male loneliness epidemic is about to get so much worse because men will really act like if you're existing and they're not allowed to shoot your shot or try to get with you, it's a personal insult. Example, a few months ago I went to an art gallery and this guy tries to hit on me. I say, oh, I'm married, show him the ring. And he goes, oh, look at you with your fake ring. And I'm like, oh, look at you, you're alone. Another example, I go out, same situation, show the guy the ring and he goes, oh, you're mean. You're a tease. And I'm like, I am just existing in the same place that you are, but sure, I'm mean. I'm a tease because you can't shoot your shot at me. Are we being serious right now? Are we really not seeing how idiotic that way of thinking is? Women have the most mobility they have ever had. And some men, I guess they were just expecting to just have a woman fall into their laps and not have to develop the skills of kindness, empathy, consideration. And by the way, I know that sweet men exist. I know a lot of them. I don't envy men who are really sweet and just shy because that's kind of a hard place to be in 2026. Like, I understand that. My point is to say that the men who are acting entitled are going to continue to be disappointed.
And, you know, modern women continue to say, you know, why is this guy not asking me out? Why won't this guy shoot his shot? Why is this guy seeing me, staring at me, but he's hesitating? I mean, at some point in time, maybe you should realize what the man is going through. Maybe you should realize, you know what, this date really cost him. You know what, you know, he might have to spend a little time. He might have to spend some. Well, you know, we both spending time, but you know, he's got to spend his money on the date instead of just saying, well, you know, I spend my money too in a way because I use my makeup and, you know, I go get a spray tan. And one woman said, man, I took a workout class. I was like, girl, that workout class ain't going to do nothing for nobody. You just started working out. You went to one workout class. You didn't lose no weight. As far as I'm concerned, you wasted, well, I mean, you didn't waste your time, but if you saying that you did it for him, you wasted your time. You need to have been doing that well before you met him, during the time that you met him, and then after the time that you met him. That's how these modern women do. They try to assign stuff to men and say, oh, well, you know, I'm doing it for you, so I got to spend money in a way. No, you're going to spend that money anyway.